Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with a weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Chanel Deauville in the large size gray with the black leather and the silver hardware. Alright, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's start your workout, let's go to work, let's do your laundry, whatever it is that you do, come join me. We have some awesome topics to cover today. Starting with the first question from S. Johnson. We are planning to move across country and we will be having people pack and move for us, but I'm worried about them packing and storing my bags since they are expensive and I'm paranoid that they'll get lost. Should I take them on the plane with me or trust the movers? This is an awesome question, and there's a few ways to look at it. I also wanted to get Robert's opinion on this question, so I had him weigh in on this. All right, so as far as taking them on the plane with you, since you are moving across country, it really depends on your collection. If you have a very large collection, you might have to check in your luggage, and if you check in your luggage, you always run the risk of the airlines either misplacing or losing it, and I'm not trying to, by any means, I'm not trying to worry you or anything like that, but it's always a possibility. But if you can put your collection inside of a carry-on, I think that would be the best route to go because you know that they're with you. You don't have to worry about, like I said before, the luggage being misplaced or anything like that. You don't have to check it in. The only thing is that it might get a little bit smashed here and there, but when you get to your destination, you can end up just stuffing it, stuffing it with air paper so that way you can go back to keeping its shape or anything like that. So that's one way to go. Now, as far as the movers go, I think that it's it's kind of a gray area, because you always want to expect the best when it comes to your fellow man or your fellow woman or anything like that, And when I asked Robert what he thought about this, he said, "What if she were to put her bags inside of a box already? She can seal it up, and it's not like she's going to label it, luxury goods or handbags or anything like that. She can label it whatever she wants, and that way the movers don't really know what's inside of the box. She knows what it is, and they can go on about moving the rest of her house for her. And then the paranoia wouldn't be as much when it comes to having someone else, pack those expensive goods for her. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. But like I said, it all depends on what you feel most comfortable with. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Any of you guys that have moved either, it doesn't necessarily have to be a large collection, just any luxury goods in general. How have you done it? What are some things that ended up helping you to give you, what are some of the things that you ended up doing to give you peace of mind? I'm getting tongue-tied already. But I would really love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, and hopefully we can end up helping out S. Johnson to make the best decision, and I wish you the best of luck with your move, and I know that everything's going to turn out okay, but hopefully, again, we're able to give you a little bit of peace of mind and give you some great advice. But fantastic question. Next question from Priscilla Portillo. Hopefully I said that correctly. Would you consider Goyard purchase? I would love to hear your opinion as I'm thinking of purchasing a bag from them. Wonderful question. And would I consider a Goyard purchase? Absolutely I would. And to be honest, a few years back, I had the St. Louis tote on my wish list. I took it off and it is back on again. But that's the great thing about wish lists, that you can add and subtract as much as you want without spending a dime until you make up your mind. But I really like Goyard, and I know some people are kind of 50-50 on it. I've had people reach out to me and say that it's one of the best pieces that they have in their collection, not necessarily just the St. Louis tote, but Goyard piece in general. They love the way that it wears, and I've also had other people message me and let me know that it started to wear a lot quicker than they had than they would have liked. So I've gotten both perspectives on them, and I'm still, like I said, very indecisive as to whether or not I want to pull the trigger on adding it to my collection. But I'm very curious as to how it ends up being in comparison to a Neverfull, because I'm a huge fan of the Neverfull. It's one of my favorite bags in my collection, and I know a lot of people end up going for the Goyard if they don't necessarily want to go for a Louis Vuitton piece. So I'm very much intrigued by it. And another great thing about Goyard is that they hold their resale value insanely well. And if you look at it from the resale standpoint, then it's a great way to go. But in general, I think it's a really nice bag. And usually I'm not too keen on patterns or on like the designs of bags. I prefer something very, very simple. But I don't know, there's something that I really like about it. And I really like their their trunks from way back when. I think that they're gorgeous, and the fact that you can add your monogram onto the bag makes it even more special. So I don't know, but I think it is beautiful, and like I said, they hold their resale value very, very well, and it's a tote. So I'm a tote girl, and it's right up my alley. So I don't know if that was able to help, but I thought I would give you my my 2 cents on it, and good luck on deciding whether or not you add it to your collection. But great question. All right, next one from Nina Jen. Do you ever want to get rid of your GST? Just got one, and I saw most people already sold it nowadays. Great question. And the GST, which is right up there, I used to have 2 in my collection. I had the beige Claire, and while I liked it, I never used it. Because the color made me very nervous. I didn't want anything, I didn't want any color transfer or anything like that. But as far as getting rid of my black one, as of right now, I can tell you, I consider this to be a forever piece in my collection. I absolutely love the bag. I love the simplicity that it has. I love that it's a tote. As I just mentioned, I'm a huge tote girl. And I don't know, I just really, really like the structure that it has. So even if it ends up going out of style, within 10, 15 years, I'll still end up rocking that bag just because I absolutely love it. And it's very easy to use too. It's not too cumbersome, and it's not too heavy either. So nope, I don't want to get rid of it. I vicariously lived through trying to add a light piece, a light caviar color to my collection with a beige Claire. It didn't work out, but this one, I think this one's here to stay. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, next one from Lux Lover VB81. Your personality is epic, but I have a question in regards to it. Besides road rage, is there anything else that turns that gorgeous smile upside down? Also, I am struggling in regards to what to buy. Like, I am set on what I'm going to buy this bag, and then before I can purchase it, I see something else that takes its place as first, but the original bag never fell off my list. What do? I have not purchased anything as I keep doing it. Please, can someone help my craziness? Well, first and foremost, awesome questions, but thank you so much. You are so, so sweet. Okay, so yes, we all know that I have major road rage. I do, I can't help it. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the happiest camper when I drive. I am not. I prefer to drive alone, to be honest. If I'm driving, yeah, it's not good to be with me. But what else that turns that gorgeous smile upside down? And I don't want to get into it too much, but anytime I hear anything going on, of course, first and foremost with my family or my friends, if anything's going on with them, but also when you see the news and you see everything that's going on, just worldwide, it's very disheartening. So, it starts to put things in perspective as to how I used to think of things back in the day when I was younger. So of course, everything having to do with world news, it paints a very gray picture, but like I said, I don't want to get into it too much. But there is one thing that makes me bawl like a baby whenever I see it on TV, and I don't like to watch TV too often, but when I do see TV and I have it come on, I am a mess, and those are the ASPCA commercials with the Sarah McLachlan, songs on the background. Oh my goodness. I don't like watching them, because it just breaks my heart to see the animals and how they're treated and how they end up, how they find them when they go to rescue them. But the music, my goodness, the music makes it so much more sad, right? All I know is that every time I see those commercials, I immediately run to Edward and I just hold him, and then I'm sobbing. I feel like I'm inconsolable, but yeah. So those commercials really just immediately change my mood from happy-go-lucky to ridiculously sad. So that's bad. Now, as far as you purchasing items, your second question, you purchasing items. So you have something in first place, right? You go to purchase it, but then you kind of get distracted by something else. What I would suggest, and this is something that I end up doing because I am known for being distracted. I try to keep my eyes on the prize, and I know it's easy to say, put the blinders on, but it's easier said than done, right? especially when you see all these new collections, all these beautiful new colors, and of course Instagram, and you see you know, all the unboxings on YouTube and whatnot. But what I like to do is I kind of take a step back and I say, okay, why am I getting this? I have to ask myself that question, as stupid as it sounds, but it ends up helping me out. And I say, why am I buying it? Do I have something similar to it? Would I end up using it? You know, because a lot of the times I've gotten things that I really, really like. I think that they're gorgeous, but I have no use for them. You know, so if I have something similar that I would end up using the item for, and I'm just getting it just to get it, then that's when I'm like, okay, just take a second and take a step back. I end up walking away. I go, go out shopping here, go out shopping there. And 9 times out of 10, I go back home and I completely forget about the item that I was at first lusting for and thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be perfect in my collection. And other times, that one other time, I end up going back because I really like it. And I end up, adding it to my collection. But it's something that I have to ask myself, is it going to work out for me? Is it going to suit my lifestyle? Am I buying it just to buy it, or would it have a purpose, and maybe it works for some people, maybe it doesn't, but that's what I end up doing. And it seems to work out okay, especially because I've gotten a lot better as the years go by, and I say that very loosely because we all know sometimes we are prone to temptation when you see these gorgeous pieces, but that's what I end up doing. So I know, I can say, put the blinders on, focus, 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 but just ask yourself, just say, hey, maybe I'll walk away, and then if it's not meant to be, but if you decide about it and if you keep thinking about it, a few days later, then go back and then go ahead and purchase it. You know what I mean? So hopefully that ends up helping you out. All right, next question from Karen. Could you please tell us what happened to your Saint Laurent tote? Did you end up returning it or keeping it? Also, please give us your opinion on it. I'm looking into purchasing it, but I'm a bit afraid of the leather being delicate. Great question. And the Saint Laurent tote, the large shopping tote that Robert got me for Christmas, we actually ended up going back to Neiman's, and I had talked to the associate there, and I had said, is there a way to just be able to exchange just the little pouch because the rest of the bag looked fine? They actually said that it was defective, so I ended up having to return it, and I asked her, can I get another one? And they're still actually, they're sold out for the time being. So I ended up just having to return it. But I'm still intrigued by it. I still want it. I still want that bag because I think it's a beautiful tote. And the only thing that kind of put me off is when I was looking at some of the other colors, because I really like that green. When I was looking at possibly getting the gray one that they had there, it also had a really stiff zipper and it kept getting caught. And another one didn't have that issue. So I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe it's something that might end up getting on my nerves. I have no idea. I'm sure that the more and more that I use it, that the zipper would end up working out okay, or you can end up putting wax on the zipper, like some of the other pieces that I've had in my collection that sometimes it just gets caught. But still, it wasn't so much that it was caught, it was completely kinked in. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe this is a sign for me not to get this bag. But it's still on hold as far as when I'm waiting for the phone call for them to say that they have more in so I can take a look at them. But I really like it. I love the simplicity that it has. And to be honest, when I was looking over the material, I ended up going onto a few different websites to get a couple of people's perspective on it as to how it ends up wearing. And so far, a lot of people have said that it wears really, really nicely. I thought that it would have really deep scratches on it because of the type of leather that it had. I thought it was a little too soft, but it seems like it ends up being a lot more resilient than I gave it credit for as far as scratches go. And it's very understated. So if you want something that's all leather, and I think it has a pretty good price point for the fact that it is an all leather bag. It's the raw leather interior, or the raw interior that I really like as well. And a lot of people like it for a work bag because it doesn't have all these logos that kind of scream what fashion house it's from or anything like that. And I did pack it on. I put in the items that I would normally end up carrying inside of a tote, and it felt very, very comfortable on my shoulder. I really, really liked it. So I'm still, I'm kind of like, should I go for it? Should I go for it? But hopefully I get the phone call that they have it so I can go check it out. But yeah, so I think it is a beautiful tote, and they have a burgundy one that is gorgeous. They also have, they have an array of different colors to choose from as well. So if you want something a lot more understated that's all leather and it's a great tote, I highly recommend the Saint Laurent. Now, I want to know more about the zipper as to how it ends up wearing over time. But yeah, hopefully that was able to answer your question. Okay, next one from Kiki Slam, I'm sorry. Hopefully I said that correctly. If there were an emergency arises, which bag would you take with you? Just one. Great question. Oh man. Okay. If emergency arises and I could just take one. At first I was thinking like end of the world type of situation. I would end up taking a keep all, right? So you can end up fitting supplies in there, but I don't think that's necessarily what the question was. But I think that I would end up taking my Chanel medium large classic flap. I absolutely love that bag. It has a lot of sentimental value, and I'm just crazy about it. And yeah, I think it would be difficult because I do have such an attachment to all of my handbags, but the medium large definitely would be the one that I would end up going for, I think. But to be honest, to be completely honest, if that happened, I think I would be the one that would knock down my shelf, get the keep all, and fit as much as I can in there. I'm just being honest with you because yeah, that's what I would end up doing. But hopefully I was able to answer your question. But I want to know, what bag would you guys take? If you could only take one, you know, and of course it's not like the whole end of the world like I thought, but if you could only take one out of your entire collection, which one would it be? But that's a great question. All right, next one from Jenny Lip. Could I get your thoughts on the Pochette Felicie? I've had this bag on my mind for a minute now, but I don't know that it's practical for my lifestyle. I don't own a wallet on chain, so maybe this would be for me. If I get the monogram, I could use it as an everyday bag by putting my monogram adjustable strap on it, but I do love the look of the empreinte of this bag. I have the Pochette Métis and the key pouch and empreinte, and I love the look. The other dilemma, should I get it pre-loved since I won't carry it all the time? I could save around $200, but then it won't come with the inserts. This is an awesome question, and before I get any further, let me insert pictures of the Pochette Felicie in the monogram, as well as the empreinte leather, and I will insert those right now. I'm a big fan of the Pochette Felicie. I wasn't so much so in the beginning, but it's really grown on me. It's a versatile piece that you can end up using as a little handbag. You can use it crossbody, and it has those two inserts. So I really like it. It's also one of those bags that you have to go uber compact into. So if you're not used to going into a smaller handbag, if you prefer to carry a lot more with you, it might not be the best option. But if you want to try out a bag that still has that versatility that you can end up using inside of your larger bags while you get a feel for a smaller handbag, I think it's a great option, and I really do like the price point that it has. The $1,200 plus for an empreinte piece with the versatility that it has, as I mentioned, and then $9.95 for the canvas. So I know that some people have kind of decided between the Favorite and the Felicie. I think that the Felicie is just a tad more, just a little bit dressier because it doesn't have a leather strap as opposed to the Favorite, but I think both are still beautiful bags. But, okay, so you were saying your dilemma, one of the dilemmas is if you should get it pre-loved, and if you did, you would end up saving $200 because it doesn't come with the inserts. I'll have to be honest with you that if it's a $200 difference between going pre-loved and going brand new, I would end up going the brand new route only because I strongly feel that those two inserts are worth a lot more than the $200 savings that you would end up getting. Plus, you can end up using those inserts inside of some of your other handbags while you're not using the Felicie. So you have so many different options, so many different things that you can use from this bag, and you don't necessarily have to use them together. So I really like that. I've seen some on the pre-love market without the inserts that sell like $100 less, or like I think it was $100 less in the Epi version. than retail price. But like I said, I feel that those 2 inserts are worth a lot more than the $200. So between going pre-loved and going brand new, I would rather go brand new. That's just me. And oh man, I really like the monogram as well, but I love the empreinte. I absolutely love the empreinte. And I actually added it to the wish list because every time I see it, I'm like, oh man, this bag is so, so cute. And I love wallet on chains. Yeah, so I prefer it in the empreinte version as well, but I do like the fact that it's also, you know, the canvas version, you have the 3 different prints to choose from, but I really like the way that it looks on the empreinte. I don't know, there's just something about it that I really, that really just kind of attracts me to it. So between the 2, I would go for the empreinte, and between pre-loved and brand new, I'd go brand new. So hopefully that was able to answer your question, and good luck on whether or not you add it to your collection. All right, next one from Lana Cogshaw. Hopefully I said that correctly. If you had to choose only one Pochette accessoire, mono or demi-ben, to meet all of your needs for this style of bag, which would you choose? I can see advantages to both. Fabulous question, and here I have the Pochette accessoire. I have it in the monogram and the demi-ben. So we all know that I have added these bags back into my collection, and I love them both equally. This one's great because you have the color treated leather; you don't have to worry too much about it. And this one, I really like the way that the leather looks when it starts to patina. If I had to choose between the 2, I would end up going for the monogram. And the main reason I say that is, even though I'm a diehard fan of the demi-ben, usually when it comes to how I end up using the Pochette accessoire, I use a small leather goods that are very light in their colors, and I know that if I was to use my, for example, my Louis Vuitton Pochette, my mini Pochette in the Tahitian Demi Azur, if I put it in here, I would end up getting color transfer because of how highly saturated the red is. Whereas on the monogram, I don't have to worry about that whatsoever. So for the for the sole purpose of not having to worry about color transfer and using the small leather goods that I like to use when I end up using this handbag, I would end up going for the monogram. But like I said before, I love the fact that it has the color treated leather. With this one, you don't have to worry about it. But if you have if most of your small leather goods are either darker or they are the canvas versions or the canvas prints, you don't have to worry about the color transfer. The only time you have to worry is with the Demi Azur, like I mentioned, or if you end up having light colored pieces that would end up getting color transfer, such as my Louis Vuitton empreinte clay in the Rose Ballerine. I know that would end up getting color transfer, so I always avoid using it with this one, but I still think it's beautiful. But out of the 2, the monogram for sure. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, next one from Betty Boop 1997. When are you going to have a blog sale? Great question. I've actually gotten this question quite a bit. I've had a few different DMs on Instagram, and I don't think I'll be having a blog sale anytime soon. I am ridiculously happy with all of the bags that I have in my collection. I have really narrowed it down to the ones that I end up using quite a bit. And a lot of these, I consider them to be forever pieces, so I don't see them going anywhere. There's, I think, 1 or 2 small leather goods that I kind of go back and forth on, but other than that, no, I'm very happy with what I have in my collection and being able to enjoy it. So no blog sales for me. If anything, it might be 1 or 2 pieces, but other than that, no full-on huge sale or anything like that. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. Next question from Teresa Marie. What is the best crossbody bag for an amusement park? There might be water rides in the mix as well. Any advice will help. Fabulous question. And I have actually used my Chanel wallet on chain with the black caviar leather and the gold hardware quite a few times at amusement parks. No issues. I've gotten on water rides and it hasn't, nothing has happened to it. I also think that the Palm Springs mini backpack is a phenomenal bag for an amusement park because it's small, but you can end up using it crossbody. You can end up using it on your back if you wanted to, or on the front side of your chest. It doesn't take up too much space or anything like that, so I really like that bag. Another one that I recommend is the Pochette accessoire. Now, even though this is technically a shoulder bag, you can actually end up using attaching a crossbody strap strap to this and it's perfect. And the reason why I really like this one for amusement parks is because I don't feel that it attracts too much attention, you know what I mean? As opposed to some other fashion houses that have a little bit of a louder logo or anything like that. But it also has a color treated leather, so you don't have to worry about the water. And it's not too big. It fits just the essentials that you would need on an at an amusement park, if I can talk. It ends up just kind of laying flat up against your body, which makes it even better, especially if you are in a very crowded amusement park and if you're trying to navigate through the crowds. It's not something that's going to kind of protrude off of your body or anything like that. So adding a crossbody strap to this, or even just a chain strap, I think that this is one of the best options for that. You know, I think it's a great bag. But those are some of my recommendations. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on what you consider to be the best crossbody bag for an amusement park where you don't have to worry about water stains or anything like that. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. Next question from Susie Tunes. You mentioned that you leave an organizer in one of your bags all the time, even while storing it. Do you have any concerns about moisture retention with a fabric organizer? I know that you are not keen on pillows and bags for that reason. This is an awesome question, and yes, just like you mentioned, I'm very particular as to what I end up stuffing my handbags with. I prefer air paper because it doesn't create moisture and it still helps it keep its shape. Now, the main reason why I wanted to give it a go when it came to using the organizer inside of my Neverfull when I store it is because it is a wool blend felt organizer. And here I just have an example of one for Speedy. But I really like the fact that they are the wool blend. And I know that wool ends up helping absorb moisture, but because it has air pockets throughout the fabric, it also lets the material end up breathing. So that way it doesn't have any type of moisture retention or anything like that. And it doesn't give off a, what's it called? A mildew type of smell or any type of odor or anything like that. So far so good. I've ended up storing my organizer inside of my Neverfull since I got it pretty much, and I haven't had any funky smells come through or anything like that, which makes me very, very happy because I was a little apprehensive at first, you know, but I will most definitely be the first person to let you know if I end up having any type of smell residue or anything like that come through, and that way I can share my experience with you guys. So I guess you can call it, I can be somewhat of a guinea pig. But like I said, I was very particular as to making sure, you know, it is a wool blend type of felt. And I know that there's a lot of organizers out there and they don't all have the wool blend. But it gave me a little bit more peace of mind as opposed to other materials out there that don't have that breathable type of material that end up causing moisture more than anything else. So hopefully that was able to answer your question. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope I was able to help. You guys had some awesome questions this week. Now for this week's lineup, I think after this video I'm going to be filming a what's in my bag with the Deauville just because I have been carrying it for a little bit and I want to go into a smaller handbag. So that one, and then the other ones are still kind of up in the air because I do have a few things that I have to take care of, so I'm not sure if it's going to be up later this week or if I should wait till next week when I have a little bit more of a chance. But I will most definitely be filming the 5-minute makeup challenge that I completely failed on last weekend. I don't know why, it got the best of me. Yeah, so that should be up for random Saturdays later this week. Either way, you guys are going to see me more than just Minks Monday. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And I will see you guys later this week. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.